minus 7 minutes. Stand by.
How about that?
Alrighty. Well, in the words of John Frenzy, it's just going to be fantastic. It's a Football Friday. You've been waiting all week for Football Friday. It's going to be just as much fun as yesterday's live stream watch along, as our European soccer friends say. Kevin the Medium joining us here from the Hughes Sports Podcast. He's also a medium. That means he talks to dead people. So he fits in well here. And we've got Mike Davis coming up in hour 2 from the Vegas Nighthawks. He'll be joining us from San Diego, where they play tonight in indoor football league action. He's going to go through the CFL, the NFL, indoor, whatever football topics, because it is a Football Friday. Oh, there is a non-biased podcaster right there, CFL podcaster, Kevin the Medium. How you doing, Kev?
Good. And yes, you're right. I am completely non-biased. I don't cheer for any team. I just report on the CFL, and that's how it works, right?
Well, don't worry. You're just like all the other media now. You might as well bust out some pom-poms, too. Okay, good stuff. Kevin the Medium's here on a game day. Can you just do me a favor and straighten your hat? You got that Sask Farmer look going already, and I just can't. Just straighten it out. There you go. Put the wind lock. All right. Okay, well, you're going there. Ladies and gentlemen, let's open up with the big story. Come on. In this quick opening segment, we got to talk about the World Cup. Kevin, I really appreciate you being part of our live stream yesterday. Point one, first came the feast as Canada's World Cup team gorged on goals against Qatar and BC Place Stadium, and then came the party. Fans at the arena in Vancouver and at watch parties across the country erupted as Thursday's historic 6-0 win went Canada's way, the first for Canada's men at a World Cup. Kev, it was so amazing. Again, thanks for joining our live stream. Moose and I have been hired now by BC Game and Gosh to do Wednesday's game against Switzerland. That's how well it went yesterday. So thank you, everybody. And that includes you, Jason, and Red Deer, everybody that did. I don't know if Carlos checked in, but yeah, Kev, it was so much fun.
It was. Soccer is one of those sports where you don't you can sit back, you can turn the volume down by the announcers and listen. Like, it was fun having you on my phone, having the game on the big screen. It was just a good time. And gosh, wasn't that amazing to see how the crowd reacted to every goal we scored? It was just, oh my goodness. We had to win by 4. We knew that going in. And when they scored that 4th goal, I'm not going to lie, I might have been jumping up and down just a little bit.
Did you ever swing your shirt?
No, I've just said I was.
Okay, that's just, you saved that for the World Juniors. So, yeah, I mean, I appreciate our viewers because it was one of the most viewed live streams that they had, and it was largely our people that watch this show every day. They went and joined us over there, like Jason from Red Deer. I appreciate you doing that. And by the way, our poll question, which we'll get to, is World Cup related, because after the first break, we'll be getting all CFL on a very big weekend. But I'll just say this, Moose is in L.A., he's down there for the USA Flag Football National Championships, which he's been doing it every year. I did it a couple years ago, and now I'm doing this. He just sent me a screenshot from BC Game. They said the client loved it. Are you guys available for Wednesday? So that was I'll say it again. Soccer's not that hard to learn. I'll tell you, football, like Canadian American rules football, very hard to learn. Soccer, not that hard to learn, Kev, unless I missed something.
It isn't. It's one of those sports where it's just, I'm going to say it's a simple sport. I guess if you get into the complexities of it, it probably becomes more intricate. But to me, it was just fun to watch, except for all these freaking dives, these soccer players. They get touched in the ankle, and it looks like they were shot out of a cannon. It's like, what the hell was that?
Well, I'm willing to look past that and try to ignore that. I don't like that part of it either. I don't. Yeah. But so the poll question today is for Country Thunder. Can Canada win the World Cup? There you go. CountryThunder.com. CountryThunder.com/SK is where you get your tickets. The biggest party this summer is coming to Craven, Saskatchewan, and we'll be there along with Lainey Wilson, Creed. Join us, CountryThunder.com/SK. It's going to be so much fun. I'm going to say yes. I mean, there's some great comments have come in for the can they? Yes. Will they? No. Well, listen, go into that Canadian locker room and look around that room and ask the guys.
Yeah.
They think they
They
can, so
believe.
why would we say no? Yeah.
Which team was it where I said, these kids don't know they're not supposed to be competing at this level? It was during the hockey playoffs. It's the same thing.
It was.
These guys just they don't care. You could tell them you're not in the same league as a Spain or a France, and they're gonna, and you said it last night, we're gonna go F up Sweden, and then we're coming for whoever's next. And
Yeah.
let's do it. Once we get by this round, anything can happen. We move on. It's elimination. One game at a time. You point to your bracelet on a regular basis, one day at a time. This is now one game at a time. All we need to do is tie Sweden. We finish in first, which gives us that home field advantage. We get to play in Canada. If we don't finish first, I think we have to go to Mexico. I'm not positive on that.
Well, yeah. The boys in Europe, the guys that hired us, they're like, do you guys think that the home crowd's helping? I'm like, it's not hurting. It's not hurting. It was so loud in there. Yeah, it looked like a fantastic atmosphere. They were playing to the crowd. Did it make you miss your home?
Oh, you know what? They showed the outside. They showed Granville Street after during the post game, and they had closed down Granville Street completely for the World Cup. And I was like, man, if I was 30 years younger, 30 years younger, I would have been down there on Granville Street just having a blast. So do I miss it? Yeah, I wish I was there during events like this. This is where it is all about. It's just, I love it. It's
Vancouver's a great place on the best of days, and then for events. I'll say this: when they were talking about the party and the Robson Street, I'm like, I've done enough of that. So you guys go have fun. It's now your time. I'm like, I know exactly what's going to go on down there, and it's going to be the funnest time of their life. But just go have fun. Yeah, I'll sit here and watch the game. So by the way, it's not going to be 100% of people saying Canada can win, but it will be the majority, and everybody's getting into it. Okay, we're up against it for the first break. Let me just say this. From our friend Neil Chark at Uniglobe Carefree Travel out of Vancouver, but they have locations all across Western Canada. We got to sell out this cruise. The sooner the better. So score a touchdown in the Caribbean. Join CFL legend Adam Big Hill and Rough Riders linebacker Jameer Thurman on a 7-day cruise departing from Fort Lauderdale February 20th. A once-in-a-lifetime experience for CFL fans. Prices from $18.99, cruise only. Contact Neil Chark at Uniglobe Travel, Neil at uniglobecarefree.ca. You've always wanted to do a cruise. You haven't, but you want to. And you want to do it with CFL stars. And that includes Kevin the Medium and Adam Big Hill and Jameer Thurman. Put them all together means you're going to be contacting Neil Chark. Neil at uniglobecarefree.ca. Ball for all into CFL when we come back on the RP Show.
Across America, Country Thunder Music Festivals bring you the biggest superstars. See unforgettable performances by Zach Top, Lainey Wilson, Brooks and Dunn, Keith Urban, Riley Green, the Red Clay Strays, Kane Brown, Gavin Adcock, and so many more. Join the party under the desert sky in Arizona, on the sandy shores of the Gulf in Florida, or in gorgeous Wisconsin Lake Country. It's the music you love, live and loud. Tickets, hotel, and camping info available at countrythunder.com.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Across America, Country Thunder Music Festivals bring you the biggest superstars. See unforgettable performances by Zach Top, Lainey Wilson, Brooks and Dunn, Keith Urban, Riley Green, the Red Clay Strays, Kane Brown, Gavin Adcock, and so many more. Join the party under the desert sky in Arizona, on the sandy shores of the Gulf in Florida, or in gorgeous Wisconsin Lake Country. It's the music you love, live and loud. Tickets, hotel, and camping info available at countrythunder.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly. We built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away. ultimatefanzone.ca or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
21-time nominated Grammy Award winner Dwight Yoakam. Live in concert. June 24th, 7 p.m., Temple Garden Center. Dwight Yoakam. On sale now at sasktix.ca. Dwight Yoakam Live.
Everybody, don't just watch the RP show. Wear it. Shop at rodpeterson.com. Click the RP store. You can get a bunny hug just like this. Everybody's in a good mood. That includes Kevin the Medium and I. Utah Darren writes in and says Kevin's wearing his hat like a left-hander, right? Ken in Mississauga writes in. He says, toward the end of the watch-along, I had a craving for McDonald's. Dude, I went to McDonald's, and I had a World Cup meal, and it was amazing. What were you going to say, Kev?
Well, first off, I am left-handed, so that's why I wear my hat left-handed like. And second of all, I wanted McDonald's so bad. I was literally thinking about driving the 1 hour into Medicine Hat to go to frickin' McDonald's after that.
Well, I had one of two choices of McDonald's to go to. I went. Can I just say something? Okay, old man coming out here. There was a school, I can pick a young farm kid out from 100 miles away. You know how? I was one. So there was like 30 of them or more in the McDonald's. And I'm not going to say where they were from, a little town. I'm not going to say. And the girls had worse mouths than the boys. Oh. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. They're about ages 9, 10, 11. I was like, I'm just sitting there eating my Big Mac like a star. And the girls had worse mouths than the boys. But that's all I'm going to say. Okay.
Are you shaking your fist at the cloud? Is that what you're doing?
Sort of. Okay. And before we jump into the CFL games, because I got some delicious notes here, I put this about the games this weekend in the CFL. But Kev, I put on the Facebook. I don't know if you saw it. On the Facebook. I'm starting to talk like an old person. That Cal Murphy was announced that he's going into the Ring of, or the Bombers announced Cal Murphy's going into the Winnipeg Blue Bombers Ring of Honor. And I told some Cal Murphy stories yesterday. And I said, did you see I put on Facebook, he threw a chair at me? And people were like, tell the story. Yeah, tell the story. It was in 1999, and he was the head coach of the Rough Riders, and we were in the President's Lounge of the old Taylor Field. It would take far more time than we have here. But something had happened within the team, and I knew about it, and he wanted to know who told me, and I wouldn't tell him. And I'm like this 26-year-old boy, and he's like, and Alan Ford was in there, the general manager as well. And he's like, who told you? And his face shook, especially his neck, right? And I'm like, I'm not telling you who told me. I'm not telling you. He's trying to scare me. And he goes, Razovich and who? Which, ironically, Raz was just on this show last Friday. Cal knew that me and Raz were tight. And I said, it wasn't Raz, and I'm not telling you, so give up. thump, and a chair went whizzing right over my head.
Holy crap.
And Alan Ford, the GM, walked by laughing. And he goes, don't worry, his bark's worse than his bite. And I'm like, I don't care who you are or how many games you won. I'm not ratting out my boys. It was Rich Young, a linebacker, which I looked up, that told me. And he was a Chippendales dancer in the offseason from Phoenix. And he and I were also good friends. And I had to look it up this morning to see if was he from Phoenix? Yeah. I mean, God, Rod, how do you remember that from 27 years ago? Rich Young, a Chippendales dancer from Phoenix, linebacker. Anyways, that's who it was, Cal. We can say it today. It was Rich Young who told me what had happened. Anyways, how you feeling about the game tonight, BC at Hamilton?
I am nervous, to say the least. So we cannot afford to go 0-2. Will it be the end of the season? Of course not. But we need to win this one. This is not a must-win, but it's a really, this would be good to win.
Well, you picked them to win.
I did. I always pick them to win.
Yep. No, I know. I'm sorry. I'm just going through the text line, 902-518-3033. It's open for business, the text line. We covered that game enough yesterday. I'm taking Hamilton. Kev is taking BC, obviously. I didn't write these down, but here's a couple notes. Is Vancouver Eric here today? Kev, you're a bigger football guy. Like, I like it a lot. I love hockey more, but I love getting into the guts of this. And earlier this week, Vancouver Eric said, Rod, why do you think the offenses are putting up so much points and the offenses are ahead of the defense so far? And I just said, I don't know. Is it continuity in coaching staffs? I don't know what it is. But as you know, usually the defense is ahead right now.
Yeah.
The answer was in the game notes. And I'm not going to put you on the spot. Even you played football. You know it far better than me. It's quarterback play. Yes. The average QBR quarterback rating coming out of the first 2 weeks is 110.8. 110.8. Shoot, Trevor Harris is 147. 147.6. Trevor Harris was nearly perfect. Okay.
That's insane.
So if everybody wants to dump on the BC defense, which is fine. There weren't many guys stopping Trevor Harris in that offense in their first game last week against BC. And just so you know, the average from 2021 to 2025, the season average was 94.2. So CFL quarterbacks are playing out of their mind through the first 2 weeks.
We have, I think, and I said this last year, I think we have right now one of the best core of QBs in the CFL that we've had in a long time. We've had the individuals. We've had one team where there was that standout, Doug Flutie, etc.
Yep.
But we've never had it where you can go through almost every team and it's like, holy, Alexander, Harris, Bo's shining. You got Cody Fajardo, like he's an all-star in any year. And then, of course, you've got down in BC, you've got Rourke, and you've got Junior in Calgary. So it's just like, I've never seen it. I've never seen such a amazing, I don't even know, I was trying to think of a better word than amazing, QB core that we have in the CFL. And it just seems like every time one goes down, another one seems to be popping up. Where did Alexander come from? He was unheard of, and then boom, he's literally burning it up. So whoever's scouting for the CFL teams, they've got it together. Or maybe it's just this core of individuals where we're producing a special type of athlete right now.
Vancouver Eric writes in, he's like, yep, he's here. He says golden age of quarterbacks in this league currently. You know, it's interesting, and trust me, we're going to get through all of the games here. I keep getting hung up on BC Hamilton for some reason. Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, Edmonton, Sask, Calgary. But we're going to spend the whole first hour on the CFL now that we have the soccer behind us. And by the way, Shane writes in, he's a P1 viewer, been watching since day one. He says, RP bump, Yahoo! That's right. I'm just saying, Canada's never lost since Moose and I are doing live streams. That's all I'm saying. And they hired us again for when I said to Darren, imagine if we actually knew what we were doing.
Neither of you know soccer, so it was so cool. It was just like, Just two Canadians watching the game.
That was the whole idea. Weird. I'm like, wait. Kevin texted me afterwards, and you said live streams are huge. I don't watch them, okay? I don't
They're
watch
big.
them. Right, and here's me. So wait, I can sit here. Have I told you what they're paying us? I shouldn't say, but it was literally, it's something I can't say no. And I'm like, I could sit on my couch and just watch games with fans and make how much? What? I think I found my new job.
And I gotta say, that chair you were sitting in, I want it.
Yeah.
That chair looks so damn comfy. It looked like the big comfy chair.
It's just a love seat. It's just a love seat. But Kev's got BC. I've got Hamilton. So to win tonight. Tomorrow, Saturday, the first of a triple header. In my mind, I was like, is that the first game? Yes, it is. I was reading the game notes, man. What do I tell you? I just love it. It's one of my guilty pleasures to sit and read the game notes. It's not like you don't. It's like analytics. Like this quarterback play average QBR. That's an analytic. That tells you right there why the offenses are ahead. So there's a place for it. Trust me. And I've been reading it for years. But just look at the records or analytics in a way. Like Toronto at Ottawa, there's a case to be made that's the game of the week because both teams are 0-1. You know what I mean? Like this is a really big game. Toronto at Ottawa Saturday.
It's huge. Who you take? I'll go first. I'm taking Toronto.
Actually, so am I. And sorry, but that's okay. But by the way, our picks are for Pump Jack's Steakhouse and Pump Jack's Saloon. I guess it was our hockey watching headquarters. Now it's our football watching headquarters.
Yes.
But in the game notes, it said the week 1 showdown. Was it week 1? What was the game? Montreal has played. Week 2. Montreal and Toronto.
Yeah.
Chad Kelly and Davis Alexander lit that up for the most yards combined between two quarterbacks since 2019 when Bo Levi and Mike Riley did it. And it was like 888 yards or something. So, I mean, Well, we both picked Toronto in this game, but I saw somebody say the other day, I can't believe the positivity around the CFL right now. And there is. I'm seeing the media tweeting it, the fans, that are bitches have seemed to shut up for a while. If there was a memo that went around, I didn't get it because I've been trying to stay positive with this league for the past couple of months. But do you feel the positive vibe?
Feel it. If you look at the 6 games that have been played in the first 2 weeks, you could pick any game, and it's been amazing. How could you not enjoy this freaking sport called the CFL? You could sit and you don't have to know football. You could just sit and watch and go, wow, this is
entertaining.
Yes.
Right. And that's kind of the name of the game. But it's funny because it was 6 months really of bitching about a variety of things, about rule changes, the schedule, blah, blah. And as you know, I never got into any of that. And then the game started, and it's just, oh, wow. It's like shoving a pacifier in a toddler's mouth. Oh, okay. Let's just watch because it's so great. It's fantastic. Jason in Red Deer writes in and says, every game this week is big. Carlos in Indiana, channeling his inner John Frenzy, says, gotta love those ESBGs. It's an early season big game. I wish you'd been able to meet John Frenzy, the Don Cherry of football, Kev. He'd have been right down your alley, man.
Yeah.
Right down your alley. He's a winner all the way. Vancouver Eric says, some great stats today, RP. Nice work. Well, it's funny because you're talking about this cruise that's going in February, and am I going to be on it or not? I won't even be able to tell you by Christmas because I don't know. All week long, we had to get through a couple shows, had a couple baseball games to do, and then a soccer live stream that I'd never before done. And now this. So I sat for an hour before the show today and read all these game notes and wrote them down. And there are more. Here's another one. That's just one stat on the QBR. Here's another one. 50% of passes, 20 yards or more, which is typified as big plays.
Yes.
50% of big play passes are complete. That's an all-time high. 50% of deep passes. That's a lot. So is that the accuracy of the quarterback? Is that shoddy defense? Is that skilled receivers? All of the above? What is that?
I don't think you can say it's shoddy defense, and I get irritated. and a lot of BC fans were saying we lost the game because our defense sucks. No, we lost the game because there was a surgeon in at QB, and he picked us apart and scalpeled us to death. It wasn't because our defense sucks. So no, I don't think defense as a rule sucks in the CFL. No, you've got some damn good receivers, and when you have the core of quarterbacks that we have, you're going to get those 20 plus yards. It's just they're long ball players. Bo is a long ball player.
There was a typo in the game notes, so I'm not sure if I read this right. Jeff, the Stamps fan, if anybody will know it, but has Calgary actually won 5 in a row versus Saskatchewan? And we haven't got to our picks yet, but I think despite the typo, that's what was in the game. Now, I know they swept the season series last year, but has Calgary won 5 in a row over Sask? Because that's what I wrote down.
I would believe
and
that.
all 6 games this season have had 50 points or more. So all 6 games have been over 50 points total, and all 6 games came down to a 1-score game within the last 3 minutes. So, I mean, people can sit and bitch about a variety of things, attendance, whatever. You can't bitch about the quality of the entertainment factor. We'll be right back on the RP Show.
Ultimate Fan Zone, taking our show on the road coast to coast. Shop online, ultimatefanzone.ca. Slick, user-friendly, we built this site for the die-hard sports fans. Jerseys, hats, team apparel, offering officially licensed fan gear from the best lines in sports. Nike, New Era, Adidas, Fanatics. Game day ready to your door. Now, just a click away, ultimatefanzone.ca, or check us out on Facebook and Instagram. UFZ Downtown Moose Jaw, home of everything authentic.
Across America, Country Thunder Music Festivals bring you the biggest superstars. See unforgettable performances by Zach Top, Lainey Wilson, Brooks and Dunn, Keith Urban, Riley Green, the Red Clay Strays, Kane Brown, Gavin Adcock, and so many more. Join the party under the desert sky in Arizona, on the sandy shores of the Gulf in Florida, or in gorgeous Wisconsin Lake Country. It's the music you love, live and loud. Tickets, hotel, and camping info available at countrythunder.com.
Dean, Brody, and the Recklaws teaming up for the Hometown Heroes Tour.
If there's work, you know I'm gonna work.
Live at Temple Garden Center, November 9th.
Can't blame nobody else. I can't help myself.
2 of Canada's biggest country acts. 1 stage, 1 unforgettable night on the Hometown Heroes Tour. Tickets on sale now at the Temple Garden Center box office or online at sasktix.ca.
Across America, Country Thunder Music Festivals bring you the biggest superstars. See unforgettable performances by Zach Top, Lainey Wilson, Brooks and Dunn, Keith Urban, Riley Green, the Red Clay Strays, Kane Brown, Gavin Adcock, and so many more. Join the party under the desert sky in Arizona, on the sandy shores of the Gulf in Florida, or in gorgeous Wisconsin Lake Country. It's the music you love, live and loud. Tickets, hotel, and camping info available at countrythunder.com.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
It's the RP Show. It's a Football Friday. When we talk hockey, it's for the Mad Greek Eatery. We're just not talking it today, although we will on the sports update. Are you craving the famous Greek ribs that everybody's raving about? Mad Greek brings you our hockey coverage here. Get yours today at the Mad Greek Eatery. Dine in, pick up, or order online at themadgreekeatery.com. Kevin the Medium's with us, but only for one more segment. I'm not going to waste his time talking hockey. He's a hockey fan, but it's all football today. We have some unbelievable comments from the viewers, but I'll get to those in a second. You and I are going to keep rapping, run out of time like we did yesterday. So you got BC to win tonight. Shocking. Look at the screen. I got Hamilton. I got my Tie-Cat colors on. Go, Bo. I love you, Bo.
Wow.
Saturday, Toronto and Ottawa. The Argos are picked by you and me to win. And then it's what I believe truly is the game of the week. Montreal at Edmonton. Like, what are the chances that the Elcamos hand Montreal their first loss?
Well, I had Montreal on the tip of my tongue during the Hughes Sports podcast when I make my picks. And then I heard a voice. And it said, Death, Taxes, and Cody Fajardo winning. And I went, Edmonton came out of my mouth. So I'm going to stick with Edmonton because that's just, it's your voice, dude. So I got to listen.
Is it 13-0 Davis Alexander against
Something
God
like that.
in football player form? Cody Fajardo. So you want to go against God? So yeah, we're taking Edmonton. Shocking. I was going to take Edmonton. Yeah. What do you got? You're good with that. Okay. And then Saskatchewan at Calgary. It seems like one of the biggest crowds in years at McMahon Stadium. The Tractor Factor will be on hand. The Rider Nation making their way west for the big game. They'll be taking over Mosaic Stadium. You wonder why they hate me in Calgary so much. I'm realizing it. Or did. Not anymore. I'm just supporting my team. And by the way, I'm going to take Calgary to win this one. So, yeah, tell your gal that one.
Wow. I'm shocked. I'm taking the Riders. I think it'll be a close game. If anybody watches the Hughes Sports podcast, this one is a coin toss. You have to watch to understand that.
What is in your coffee this morning? Did you put a little Irish whiskey in there? It's a coin toss, everybody. A coin toss.
You have to watch the HSP to understand the coin toss comment.
They're all getting, well, hey, Vancouver Eric says, yeah, Davis Alexander hasn't lost. Right. I couldn't, if it's 12-0, 13-0, whatever, it's everything in O. He might be God in football player form too. I'm not sure he plays that way. And it doesn't matter now, but I was talking to somebody about the Grey Cup. It's great that I don't have a rooting interest in the Canadian Football League. Yeah. Classified as CFL alum, 20 years with the Rough Riders, but I don't have any ties to that team other than friends. I have friends on every team. Makes it very easy to analyze the game, quite frankly, and pick winners. And I was saying to a guy the other day, had Davis Alexander been healthy in the Grey Cup, Montreal probably wins. But I also understand that if my aunt had nuts, she'd be my uncle. Like, I get that wasn't the case. I get that. But that wasn't the real Davis Alexander. That's a break for the Riders. It's similar to 07. I get it. They didn't have Kevin Glenn because of a broken arm. We might not win that game if Ryan Dinwiddie wasn't making his first ever pro start, just happened to be in a championship game. It is what it is. I'm just saying Davis Alexander is all that. Okay?
He is. Probably one of the most intense athletes I've ever come across. All you got to do is look at that man's eyes, and you just know he was built for competition of any kind. He's just got that look, whatever that look is. You look into that guy's eyes, and you're just like, ooh.
Yeah,
it's cool. I like it.
It's funny. Utah Darren writes in and says, "No fair. A medium using voices for game picks." That's interesting because you say that the voices don't help you when it comes to sports.
No, and it was Rod's voice, so he's not even dead. I'm hearing live people voices.
Sometimes dead inside, just not today. 902-518-30. Don't spit your coffee all over the desk. Well, so we got through our picks, which is fantastic. And next hour, I'll get into with when Mike Davis joins us, the Brendan Sorsby thing. I mean, we're inching closer to NFL training camps and all the rest, but we're not going to do that here today just yet when we're in the meat and the thick of the Canadian Football League season. Kev, do you want to give a plug for Kevin the Medium channeling? Why don't you do that? And tell the folks what you're doing.
So what am I doing? It's tough, Rod, because I'm going to be taking the next month off of my doing mediumship. Just because I'm going for as you know, I'm going for an operation on my ankle next Wednesday. So it's going to be a month before I do anything, most likely. But
okay.
if you want to book something, go to Kevin the Medium on all my socials, and you'll be able to find it. And you might be surprised. I know this isn't a spiritual show, but I've had lots of people come to a session and might have been somewhat of a skeptic at the beginning. And by the time they're done, they're like, so don't underestimate. It's pretty cool. Try it.
Well, it's funny. It is. It's a Friday. It's fun. Let's have fun. I'm going to get to all the viewer comments after the break. But Kevin has nailed so many things in my life with absolutely there's no way that you could have. I'm like, I'm sold. There's many, but there were three real poignant. And I'd love to tell the viewers what some of them were, but I just can't. That's personal stuff. You know what they are. Pardon me?
I said, I want to know.
You know what they were. Well, you were basically, here was one. You said, would you settle on this figure in the negotiation? And I was, and then 2 hours later, I'm in it, and they're like, how about this figure? I'm like, out of all the numbers, Kev, infinity, you nailed it right down to the damn dollar. I'm like, how does this happen?
I remember the text. I'll never forget that text. I could probably go back and grab it. And it was like, what the actual, how did you, I don't understand.
Yeah, so there's a lot of business things that we do outside of this show that people don't know about and don't need to know about, but Kevin and I have a very close association and friendship. What else is on your mind? So you plugged that. What else going into the weekend?
Well, as you know, and I'm glad I have a few minutes to bring this up, I was out this morning, and what did I do? I went to the farmer's market, and I bought a Saskatoon berry pie. And I messaged Rod. I said, Rod, I'm out. Because usually Rod and I will talk pre-show, and I knew I wouldn't be able to because I was out. And I bought a Saskatoon berry pie. I won't tell you what the text I got back. It wasn't.
You could. I don't mind. Tell him.
He actually told me to F off. He literally. That's what
I said. F you.
Okay. Well, same thing.
I mean, I didn't say to troll me. You got 2 minutes, Kev. Troll me. My favorite pie in the world is Saskatoon berry, and it ain't even close.
Oh, and the Hederites out here, the Hederites make one of the most amazing Saskatoon berry pies. When you come visit, we will have a Saskatoon berry pie waiting for you.
Oh, Mr. Kevin. Oh, Mr. Kevin. Can you put him to brand an RP in the top of that Saskatoon berry pie? That would be pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. Well, the other thing, we were talking on the live stream yesterday, I don't like all these days off between games. This is not as physical as football. Why is there so many days between World Cup games?
I think it's because there's so many damn teams. There's like 95 million teams, and they got to put them all in. And so, what is it? Wednesday, which really sucks because Wednesday's the day I go in for my operation. So I might just have to rely on the live stream for me to listen to know what's going on in the game.
Okay, well, you will be maybe have the television on where you are, but we will be doing the live stream again with BC. Unbelievable that for those that joined late, they've hired Moose and I back because yesterday's went so. I knew the second we went off the stream yesterday, like, they're going to bring us back. This was so much fun and and I want to thank you, Kev. I'm sure I'll be talking with you throughout the weekend, but thanks for being a big part of it and making it so much fun.
You know what? I loved it. It was even Angela was sitting beside me and she was just laughing away. She thought it was awesome.
Oh, it was really good. Yeah. Well, biggest thanks to BC Game and gosh. We'll be right back on the RP Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, welcome back. It is a football Friday here on the RP Show. We're streaming on Game Plus, our own YouTube channel, podcast, and WQVZ. Hour 2 will be going to air in Nevada. And in case you don't know, for the numpties, we don't talk as much CFL in Hour 2 because they don't care about it down there, not to the degree that the people that are watching in Hour 1 do. So if you have any CFL questions and comments heading into a very big weekend, get them out now. But we will be talking CFL next hour, just not as much. when Mike Davis joins us from San Diego. His Vegas Nighthawks are on the road. The number 2 ranked Vegas Nighthawks in the Major Indoor Football League. Now, before I get to the rest of the sports update, the warm-up for Uniglobe Carefree Travel, which, by the way, get on that cruise. Neil Chark from Uniglobe Carefree Travel is like, Rod, the official travel partner of the RP Show and the BC Lions. He's like, we need to sell this thing out. Neil at uniglobecarefree.ca. Cruise with CFL stars. What you've never done a cruise, you want to always do one, and you're a CFL fan, it's perfect. Neil, Neal, at uniglobecarefree.ca. Okay, so when I open the text line, because it's not my personal number, people have finally figured that out after 8 years. When the show goes off the air daily, I close the phone. So when I open it the next day, there's always some interesting little nuggets in there. It's like an Easter egg hunt from yesterday's show. And we were talking about Kelly McCrimmon, the Vegas Golden Knights GM, calling out the haters and saying they're just jealous. And he's not wrong, which Kelly's a little older than me, not a lot. You think Kelly might know by now. Just when you called out the haters, it just enrages them even more, which can be a lot of fun. And maybe that's what Kelly was trying to do. David, number 2 in Winnipeg, writes in and says, most haters have probably never won anything in their life except an unpopularity contest. The only thing they have going for them is their hatred. Yeah, and that ain't much. It took me a long, long time, and this ain't the life lesson show, that's for sure, but with some of the people hating on me, I'm like, I've never done anything to you. I don't even know you. I've never met you. Why do you hate me? Oh, Kelly nailed it. Text line for Western Dodge. Drive with confidence. Shop Western Dodge. Financing, selection, and service you can count on. 902-518-3033. Vintage Sasko writes in, formerly known as Fake Gainer, on the Western Dodge text line. And he's referring to the group of farm kids that were at the McDonald's I was at last night after the World Cup game. And I'm just saying, the girls had far worse mouths than the boys. I'm sticking up for the boys here, that's all. Vintage Sasko writes in, he says, hi, Uncle Rodney and the iconic Full House Hughes. Were those foul-mouthed teens related to Ray Elgard? Let's go, Canada. One of my top sporting moments of all time yesterday. Really was, wasn't it? And who would have thought, those of our vintage and our age, we did not grow up with soccer. We had a little talk this morning in a 12-step meeting about open-mindedness. And I said, how about this? I got hired to do a live stream for a soccer game yesterday. When they came to me, I was like, do you know who you're talking to? But we did it. With your help, we rocked it. And Moose and I have been brought back by the sponsor, who we were told absolutely loved it. BC Game, a European crypto casino. Like, open-mindedness. The old me is like, I'm not doing that. And those kids were not related to Ray Elgard, who was on last week. The iconic Canadian Football League Hall of Famer who lives in Las Vegas now, who dropped 2 F-bombs and 3 S-words. It's not bad for him. Last week. And these weren't teens. They were pre-teens. And it's funny because Ken in Mississauga wrote in and said that he had a hankering for McDonald's near the end of the live stream. I went to McDonald's. And just so you know, as the game got out of reach and you can see the viewership dipping, I'm like, I got to do something here. Hey, we're going to McDonald's after. What would you order? Everybody wrote in and every order was different. Amazing. It's like snowflakes. McDonald's orders and snowflakes. No two are the same. We're talking about the CFL. Wayne writes in the positivity around it right now. Wayne in Victoria, BC writes in and he says, I picked Hamilton to win tonight only because of the injuries to the Lions. And he says, I'm feeling very good about the CFL right now, and I think it's because of the changes, including the deal with DAZN. I think the CFL needed to make changes to modernize the game. Just my opinion, says Wayne in BC. That's why they did it. And it seems to be paying off so far. I mean, crowds were great last week. Really bad in week 1. Pretty good in week 2. We'll see what they are here in week 3. Kirk in Toronto writes in, he says, hey, Rod, Vladdy finally homers as the Bluebirds sweep Boston, and the Scottish soccer fans drank Fenway dry. How about that? That's the part of soccer that I obviously will not get into. I was saying with Kev earlier, you knew exactly what was going to go on Robson Street last night. Been there, done that, don't remember it. Have fun, kids. 902-518-3033. Jason says, is that the same reason you hate Bo Levi Mitchell? Oh, that I'm jealous? I never hated him. It was just for entertainment. Ken in Mississauga says, funny comment from Vintage Sasko. All it was with the, I don't hate Bo Levi. I've never met him. And you've heard this, all of you, I said, all that time I spent in Calgary being around Calgarians, Stamps fans, and then people that work for the Stampeders are like, the reason you two don't get along is you're too much alike. Okay. He was trolling Duran. Duran really didn't have a voice, so I thought I would speak for Duran. And then Duran did his talking on the field. End of story. Yes, thank you, Sea Lightning, for pointing out. Like the feed. Share it, please. That helped. Comment. Let's get the comments in. I asked you for that. Please. Here as we wrap. Well, we're not wrapping up our. Well, we are. We have about 6 minutes left, which goes fast. I guess I'll read this now. I'm going to read it coming back in hour 2. I'm just rolling through the quick 6 show topics. What was only point 3. Victor Nuchev scored the winner, 3:18 into overtime as the Chicago Wolves stopped the Toronto Marlies from completing a sweep in the Calder Cup Finals. With a 4-3 victory Thursday, Marlies remain up, but now 3-1. Game 5 is in Toronto tonight. I'm going to spend more time on this next hour, but the Edmonton Oilers have been given clearance by the NHL to hire Mike Babcock as head coach after the league concluded an investigation into his conduct while with Columbus in 2023. And I'm not going to read the statement. I'm going to carry that over to next hour, what the statement was from the NHL. I spent some time on this yesterday, and it's in my commentary today at rodpeterson.com. There's a whole lot here that I don't really understand. And that's fine. There's info that they don't want out, and I'm not going to go digging for it. What I'm saying is, if it came down to Mike Babcock and Bruce Cassidy, you would hire Bruce Cassidy. I think anybody would. Why would the Oilers, though, invite this much of a controversy and crap storm if they weren't serious about hiring Mike Babcock? Because I don't think Kelly McCrimmon can really legally and certainly not morally disallow Bruce Cassidy from interviewing with the job with the Edmonton Oilers. I don't think that can happen. So unless he went up there and completely blew the interview, which I don't think that would happen either, something's not meeting the eye here to me. But you know what? I'm not going to burn any more calories on it, or at least not this hour. Point 4, Brandon Valenzuela hit a go-ahead RBI double off Aroldis Chapman with 2 outs in the 9th inning, and the Toronto Blue Jays completed a 3-game sweep of the Boston Red Sox with a 4-3 win Thursday. Jays visiting the Cubs as we speak. Hey, Jason and Red Deer, you want to help me out with the updated poll results of the poll question today? It's brought to you by Country Thunder. The biggest party this summer is coming to Craven Sass, July 9th to the 12th, featuring Lainey Wilson and Creed. Get your tickets now at countrythunder.com/SK. Just $20 down secures your weekend pass. The question is, do you think Canada can win the World Cup? I'm getting a bang out of it because on our Instagram page, 100% of the respondents are saying, yes, Canada can win this thing. And by golly, if you were watching that game yesterday, and again, thank those who joined our live stream. If you were in that building at BC Place, you can tell one of those people that they don't think Canada's going to win this whole darn thing. This country is about to go off. Obviously, downtown Vancouver did yesterday. I feel like the rest of the country will. So, 69% of the negative Nelson showing up. No, they can't win this thing. 69% saying no. All of a sudden, we're big soccer experts, which I get a real kick out of this, too. That if I was nervous about doing that live stream yesterday, you'd have known. And I really wasn't. I did enough research, went into it, and just had a big time to the degree that they're bringing us back to do Switzerland, Canada on Wednesday. Don't ask us to do other countries, please. Another from Sea Lightning. He says, after the show, you can still hit the likes to promote Rod's channel up the YouTube algorithm. Thank you, Rod Squad, specifically you, Sea Lightning. I feel like we covered a lot of ground this hour. We got all of our Week 3 picks out of the way. Did their AHL, NHL, MLB, World Cup. Mon Dieu. Mike Davis will be joining us from San Diego next hour of the Vegas Nighthawks. They got a game there tonight. Kirk in Toronto writes in and says, hey, Rod, Toronto Sun poll. Did the Leafs get it right by hiring Jim Hiller as the team's new head coach? 74% said no. That doesn't surprise me at all. 72% don't know hockey. And we covered that earlier on in the week. All of the support for this hiring is coming from the West, from the people that know Jim Hiller. At least he's going in with low expectations. There is that. We're going to have fun next hour, and we welcome the Nevada viewers. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back. You are watching the RP Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more. There's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
How about that?
All aboard, choo-choo, everybody on board the RP show on a Friday. It's a football Friday with a whole lot of other sports sprinkled in. The majority will be football talk today. We welcome the viewers across Nevada on Silver State Sports. We keep rolling on the Game Plus YouTube channel, streaming there, our own, the Rod Pedersen Show, and of course on the radio across the U.S. South on 1700 Mission Radio, WQVZ. Hi, I'm your affable host, Rod Pedersen, feeling pretty good today. I'll tell you why in a second. Our guest is our usual Friday guest, Mike Davis, joining us, and good enough of Mike to join us from San Diego, California today, America's finest city, as they are on the road with the Vegas Nighthawks. Very big game for them, but we'll be talking college football. We'll be talking some NFL, CFL, major indoor football, the league in which they play. But let's get down to business, okay? The warm-up is brought to you by our friends at Uniglobe Carefree Travel. They are the official and preferred travel partner of the RP show and the CFL's BC Lions. When it comes to sports trips, group travel, or your next great getaway, trust the pros who handle every detail so you can enjoy the journey. Contact Neil Chark with Uniglobe Carefree Travel. The big story is the World Cup, and it doesn't matter what side of the border you're on, because we are, as my good friend Kenny DeGunt says from 806 Sports in Amarillo, Texas, Rod is bi-countryal. Broadcast to both countries, Canada and USA. I'll take that as a compliment. But we're cheering for Canada. The big story is the World Cup. First came the feast, as Canada's World Cup team feasted on goals against Qatar in BC Place Stadium in Vancouver. And then came the party. Fans at the arena in Vancouver and at watch parties across the land erupted after Thursday's historic 6-0 win over Qatar, the first for Canada's men's team ever at a World Cup. Pausing for the U.S. viewers, USA plays, I did write it down. USA plays Australia today. By the time this airs in Nevada, the game will be over. Let me just stop this for a sec. Why I'm in a great mood is I just saw a meme in the break before we were going to air that said pressure is a privilege. Pressure is a privilege. Not everybody gets to be out there performing. We hosted that live stream we'd been promoting all week, as the European people call it, a watch-along. Way more viewers than I thought we would have. Canada motorboated Qatar 6-0. It was a runaway. The game was fun. Everything was fun. You have met Moose DuPont. At one time was my permanent co-host here on the show, but he's now down in Los Angeles this weekend producing and broadcasting the USA Flag Football Championships. He came on the stream with me. We had more viewers than they've ever had. Canada won, and they're bringing us back to do Canada-Switzerland next week at 1 p.m. They said the client loved it. And that's BC Game, the global crypto casino that's into soccer, for the love of God. The one great thing about soccer, it's not that hard to learn. Not that hard to learn at all. We just had big fun. So, again, pressure. I could have felt a lot of pressure going to I've never hosted a live stream before. And I don't really know much about soccer either. But we pulled it off with a lot of your help, the viewers. The Rod Squad showed up. A lot of the same faces in that chat on the live stream, and we just had a great time. And it also proved that advertising works. Because all game long, if you watch that Canada game, and probably when I watch USA, we'll see the same thing. McDonald's ads all over the place. What I do, go to McDonald's and get a World Cup meal and enjoyed it tremendously. And I guess there's a tiny thread weaving through the show today. There was a bunch of farm kids there from a rural town. I sniffed that one out fast. You know how I know that? Because I was one. It's like 30 kids wearing Wrangler jeans, ball caps that were cinched up so tight to fit their little heads. I've been there. So I'm sitting beside these kids, and I'm listening to them as I'm enjoying my Big Mac with no pickles. And I'm just saying, the girls had worse mouths than the boys. That's all I'm saying. The boys weren't swearing at all. And some of the things the girls were saying, I was like, anyways, as we roll along, that's the World Cup thing. Just enjoyed it all. Thanks for participating. See you Wednesday when Canada takes on Switzerland. 902-518-3033 is our text line. It's brought to you by Western Dodge. And, of course, for anybody watching on the variety of streams, you can write us in the streaming chat as well. We would love to hear your comments on that. Point two, here's the thing. Hockey is now behind us, really. It's their off season in terms of games. The coaching carousel's going around. The draft is coming up. It's like every other league, and we're going to get to that in a second. But the sucky thing is, it's like NFL. When the NFL season's over, everybody shoots off in their different ways. Hockey season's over, everybody shoots off in their different ways. So when Mike Davis joins us next from San Diego, we'll talk about all the leagues. We went way more in depth last hour, in the Canadian hour, as I like to call it. But what I will say is, it is week 3 in the Canadian Football League. We made our picks for the games. I've taken Hamilton to beat BC tonight, Toronto to win at Ottawa in the first of a triple-header Saturday, Edmonton to win at home against Montreal in the middle game of the triple-header Saturday, and Calgary to beat my old team, Saskatchewan, Saturday night in the foothills of McMahon Stadium in Calgary. And that's going to be a fun game. And to be honest, I feel myself coming on sick with a cold, which what is worse than summer colds? I don't want to spend all weekend in bed, but you know what? If it's watching a triple header of CFL football on Saturday, I'm down. Our picks are brought to you by Pump Jacks Cathedral and Pump Jacks Weyburn. Come early and stay late at the place where friends meet, and they meet there to watch sports. Pump Jacks. But that's the CFL thing. We'll get more into that with Mike Davis next, as well as this. Point 2B. Brendan Sorsby is tentatively planning to work out for NFL teams before the supplemental draft following the quarterback's decision to end an unprecedented legal fight to retain his eligibility after he acknowledged making impermissible bets while playing college football. Sorsby plans to hold his pro day July 9th at a Dallas area high school. He's from there. The deadline for applying for the NFL draft is Monday, but there were still procedural issues related to a Texas district court's temporary injunction that had cleared the way for him to play for Texas Tech this fall. What I can tell you is I'm in Canada for the summer, and I don't miss being in South Florida because I will guarantee you that's all anybody's going to be talking about. And our U.S. viewer, you tell me, is everybody talking about Sorsby? Because my people are, and that's enough. The football people are. Should he be allowed to play in the NFL? Should he not? Because we have a parallel story here. Arlen Bruce IV is starring in the Major Indoor Football League, of which the Vegas Nighthawks play in. He is with the Arizona Rattlers. He's been barred from the Canadian Football League, even though he's never set foot in the Canadian Football League because of gambling violations in college in the NCAA. It's exactly the same as Brendan Sorsby. So why would we think the NFL will welcome Brendan Sorsby in if the CFL won't welcome in Arlen Bruce IV? Both great players. I do want to get Mike Davis's take on that next because he's coaching against him. From the audience, thank you, Carlos in Indiana writes in. He says, I think some things from hockey can translate well over to soccer. Could be wrong. He says, I ain't a hockey guy. It's similar, but it's like 11 guys trying to kick that ball in that big net. I didn't see a whole lot of strategy. And fun going on in the crowd, and one of the Canadian players took a ball right off the face. And then he turned around and scored a goal or got credited for a goal on an own goal. Like, let's be honest. I'm not a complete brick. I've been a sportscaster for 38 years. I know when they showed Christine St. Clair on the screen that she is the greatest Canadian soccer player of all time. I knew that. They didn't even put her name on the thing. I knew that. I know what an own goal is. I know enough. Sea Lightning writes and says, I would like soccer to move the goal net ahead like hockey to make a more exciting game. You write them a letter and tell me how it goes. Oh, yes, I apologize, guys. Brian in Winnipeg writes in. He goes, just watched Jonathan Taves' retirement. Very good speech about his career in Chicago and Winnipeg. We didn't get to that, and that's on me. Well, let me give you today's headlines. I mean, again, you wonder why people don't read the newspaper anymore. Sorry to our newspaper friends, but all of this came down this morning. Toronto Maple Leafs acquired Darren Radish in a sign-and-trade with the Tampa Bay Lightning, reaching 8 years, $68 million deal. For the U.S. people, just so you know, here's what it is in Canada. Most media that I've seen ripping this trade. I'm like, I didn't realize you guys were scouts. 3-time Stanley Cup winner Jonathan Taves announces his retirement. This is all at tsn.ca. A lot of World Cup stuff, of course. Ron Francis returns to the Pittsburgh Penguins in special advisor role. What was I saying earlier? Hockey season doesn't have to be over if you don't want it to be over. So we'll talk a little bit about everything, because that's why we are the Golden Corral of sports talk here. We don't get locked into any one thing. If you don't like what we're talking about, wait 2 minutes. We'll be talking about something else. As I continue, what I tell you, the hockey season ends as far as the games go. Everybody splinters off in their own ways, just like the NFL. Quite frankly, I'll be real happy when they start playing again. But that's not for a while either. I'm just going with bullet points here. Victor Nuchev scored the winner, 3:18 into overtime, as the Chicago Wolves stopped the Toronto Marlies from completing a sweep of the Calder Cup final with a 4-3 victory on Thursday. Even in Canada, they don't care about this, but I'm reading it because Nevada has a team, the Henderson Silver Knights. That's their league. So the league final is 3-1 Toronto Marlies, and they can wrap it up with a win tonight in Game 5. The one that far more of us care about, the Edmonton Oilers have been given clearance by the NHL to hire Mike Babcock as head coach after the league concluded an investigation into his conduct while with Columbus in 2023. Those 2 months that he was with Columbus in 2023, and he was forced to resign. The NHL Players Association requested the investigation after word emerged that the Oilers were interested in hiring the Stanley Cup winning bench boss. Yes, I see that it's 111, everybody. Thank you for playing. Here's the statement that I didn't read last hour. I saved for this hour for the hockey fans that have tuned in that care. Quote, this is from the NHL. The league has completed its review of Mike Babcock's tenure in Columbus and of certain alleged conduct associated therewith. Think a lawyer might have written this? Our investigation has concluded that, even in a light least favorable to Mr. Babcock, there is no current basis to restrict his employment in the league. Unquote. Are you like me? Maybe not. Probably not, actually. But I'm thinking sitting around those glass-walled offices of the NHL in downtown New York and the Avenue of the Americas. Gary's like, I like that. Add in the least favorable light thing. I mean, it might not have been Gary Bettman. If not him, probably Bill Daly, his top lieutenant. I don't think the lawyer's putting that in. Even in a light, least favorable to Mr. Babcock. So here's what I don't understand. And if anybody in Vegas is watching this and can help me out with it on Silver State Sports, what am I missing? Because Kelly McCrimmon basically said he's allowed, the general manager of the Golden Knights has allowed Bruce Cassidy to interview for this job. So if I'm the Edmonton Oilers and I have a choice between Mike Babcock or Bruce Cassidy, I'm hiring Bruce Cassidy 10 times out of 10. And I like Babcock, but why would you put yourself through all of this crap storm and controversy when you got Bruce Cassidy sitting right here? I don't understand it. Cassidy, from what I understand, would take the job. The Oilers at one time wanted Bruce Cassidy. Why is that not happening? And then why would you turn around and go to Mike Babcock that triggered a league investigation? This whole thing looks bad. There's something here that doesn't make sense. But again, I've burned enough calories on it as it is. Something's not adding up here. I'm just pointing that out. I'm not interested in necessarily finding out what it is. 902-518-3033. So a bunch of things going on in the National Hockey League in what's supposed to be the offseason. Kirk writes in from Toronto. He says, hey, Rod, I'm heading up to Round Lake in the Madawaska Valley after the RP show and may make the 2-hour trek down to Ottawa on Saturday to catch Argos Red Light. Well, you let us know how that goes, Kirk in Toronto. You let us know, please. There's a case to be made why that would be the game of the week. Hey, regarding our live stream yesterday for the soccer, did I mention that BC Game, the sponsor, the Global Crypto Casinos, hired me and Moose to come back and do another game Wednesday? Jason in Red Deer. I don't even know how to say the guy's name, but Jason in Red Deer says, hey, Rod, how gruesome did the Cone, how do you say it, Cone? Do you know producer Corey, the kid that broke his leg in the game yesterday? He says, how gruesome did it look? I missed it because I was at the dentist. I'm going to tell you something. I was watching the World feed, which I think you were too, of the they didn't show a replay of it. So if you're and my PVR wasn't working. I couldn't rewind it. So I didn't really see it. All I saw, this guy was down, which I'm just going to say it as politely as I can. One of the 25 guys that went down during the game. It gets to a point. How do we know that it's serious? Everybody else is flopping all over the place. This ended up being serious. He broke his leg. I don't want to say who, but Kevin the Medium said, like, they had him sucking on something on his way off. Kevin the Medium said it was laughing gas. I mean, it's not a... Kevin said it, not me. But that's my long-winded answer of I didn't see it because they didn't do a replay. It must have been gruesome. They wouldn't replay it. But they'll find a way. Vancouver Eric writes that he says, Mike Babcock, maybe it's a negotiation thing, RP. For who? For the Oilers? That's the thing. They haven't hired Babs yet, and until they do, I still think it's going to be Bruce Cassidy, but that's just me. Ball for all. Get your CFL, NFL, indoor questions in next for Mike Davis right after this.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live. Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, Done. Skycron.com/Regina.
RP Show continues on Silver State Sports. Our guest segments for Prairie Panels. Are you building a shop, barn, rink, or commercial space? Prairie Panels provides high-quality insulated wall and roof panels designed for durability and energy efficiency. Visit prairiepanels.ca. Do we not have a mic, Davis? What's happening? And then, so what should I tell him? Oh, we got him. Okay, Mike Davis showing up. And how lucky are we, the head coach and general manager of the Vegas Nighthawks of the Major Indoor Football League, joining us on a game day from San Diego, I believe. What do we got going on here, gentlemen? There we go. Hey, Mike. Sorry about that, my man.
No, it's me.
Call?
Yeah, I did. I had to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Forgot I was doing it on my phone today and not on the computer.
Thank you, producer Corey, for handling all that. And it is a game day. As I said, you're enjoying us from America's finest city, San Diego, California, right?
Yeah, it's beautiful out here.
Of course it is. Is it America's finest city? Really? You believe that, or is it just marketing?
It's just marketing. It's a little chilly for me. I like the heat and the humidity. It's like 72 degrees and overcast today. I would rather be than sunny.
I heard it was a little chilly down there on the West Coast. But, hey, what are you guys, 9-2, second ranked in the coaches poll? Tee up tonight's game, and what is it, week 14?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's a battle for first place. Obviously, we got to, obviously we win, we clinch a playoff spot, and it puts us a game and a half up in first place, and the wheels really have to fall off for us to lose that. So, we're excited. It's a good test. We're still trying to figure it all out, and we got some young guys that are still wet behind the ears. But for us, it's a battle of attrition. You got to get better each week, and just like in anything.
Mike Davis, Vegas Nighthawks, Major Indoor Football League. Can you tell me about? I've never been in that rink. I've been by it. Like for you, it's an arena. We would call it. It's 9,000 seats for hockey, I think, in San Diego. Can you tell me about where you're playing tonight?
We're playing actually in Oceanside at the Front Wave Arena. Yeah, so it's like a 6,500 seat arena. They have G League team plays there. They're the AHL hockey team still plays in San Diego at the Pachinga. But the G League team plays out here. So Pachinga is an older arena. And it's about 9,500 people, I believe. But I think people
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah. Most people are trying to make their way up to the new arena because it has all the bells and whistles, and I mean it's just brand new. So I think it's been open for this. I think this is the second year.
Of course. Well, we'll get to all the viewers' questions in a second about at various levels, all levels of football here. But just talk about your season, if you don't mind, at 9-2 coming in. Just the road to get to this point.
We lost the first season. Got the number one offense in the league. I think defense is ranked second or third. Again, statistics don't matter to us, right? It's being efficient and playing good football. We embrace the task at hand. You always have the target on your back. You got to be ready for everybody's best game, not only because we're winning champs, but because we're Vegas. You get the flashy uniforms, the flash, 3 or 4 different helmets, and so there's a little bit of animosity amongst your peers, we'll say, that are always trying to knock down the king of the castle so far. But that's last year. This year is a new challenge, and we have our challenges.
Well, I'm just going to sashay down that road for a second because you kind of went there unknowingly. You don't miss much, Mike Davis. So you probably saw Kelly McCrimmon standing before the microphones addressing the haters this week, saying it's jealousy. I mean, you guys are all part of the same umbrella there. What did you think with Crim's take on that?
I mean, he's got a point, right? Like the players have come out and said it. I think Jack Eichel said it first. Like, Vegas is not on anybody's no trade list, The city embraces them. The atmosphere. If you've never been in T-Mobile, played in T-Mobile, the atmosphere is absolutely electric. I don't care if it's a Monday, a Wednesday, a Friday. They don't care who you're playing. Like it's always electric, and the standard for them is execution and win, and that goes across all three. From the Golden Knights to the Silver Knights to the Nighthawks. So you know, you got to stand with Krim when he says that stuff because it's true, right? You know, and they've done what they needed to do to put their best foot forward. And I mean, we knew Ryan Craig was the next head coach. You know, I think it happened a year sooner than what they thought it was going to happen. But for us, I mean, great guy. I've got to know him a lot, not a lot, but a little bit throughout the last couple of years, just because our interactions in the same arena and doing charity events together. I mean, he's going to be good for that group.
Would you guys ever play a game in T-Mobile? Is that on the radar at all?
I think if the championship game was in Vegas and we got that opportunity, potentially, we love our right. You get pack 6,000 people in there. It's deafening. You know, there's a big difference between 6,000 and 20,000. And I don't want to be in T-Mobile Arena with 10,000 people in the lower bowl and 10,000 people, you know, curtained off the upper bowl. Like I just, you know, I'd rather be in our arena. So
yeah.
Who knows? That's questions for Bill and Rob at a later date.
Yeah, I'm sure at one day, eventually they will. But you mentioned the championship game. So yours is in Tucson this year. Is that like a Grey Cup, like a Super Bowl rotating thing? Can you explain that?
Yeah, so the league cities bid on it. Tucson got it for 2 years, 3 years. I think this is the second 2 or 3 years. This is the second year of it, and you know, there's obviously with our growth as a league with Yahoo Sports and overnight and things like that. The league is quickly growing faster than I think even some of the owners and stuff expected. So they're going to have to make some concessions, I do believe, which is great for the players and great for the platform.
Arlen Bruce Sr. writes in. He says, great day, RP and Coach. Hey, Coach, your team is outstanding. The way you get the boys ready is remarkable. Thomas is a baller. I like your quarterback. Good luck, Vegas. My son still needs to be in the CFL. Tell me about Arlen Bruce IV. What kind of season's he having down there? He's in Arizona, right?
Yeah, he's in Arizona. He's having a good season, right? Like obviously they run the ball more than he gets. He's having a good season, right? Could they force him the ball a little more? Probably. But when he gets the ball in his hand, the kid's electric. And I said that when he was in Northern Arizona last year, right? It's just like, you know, how our league works is very similar to the CFL. When free agency came, he was signing somewhere else the minute the clock strike 12, right? So for us, we didn't even get a chance to talk to him, whether we would or wouldn't have, you know. But he's in a good place. He's in a good program, and what he can when he gets the ball.
When's your wife coming up here again? If that's too personal, don't answer it. But I need her to bring me one of those shirts.
Just give me an address and I can ship them to you.
Well, we can do that too.
Her
Exactly.
Well, it's funny. Her parents were just here. They came down for Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final, so kind of last minute impromptu trip because when they won the Stanley Cup Finals, her mom came and her dad couldn't come, so her dad's like, I'm not missing this one. So I was able to get us some tickets and. So they came down, little 2-day trip, come down, watch the game, and go back.
Perfect. Well, that shirt's got me written all over it, Mike. So yeah, we gotta make that happen. Arlen Sr. says, thanks, Coach. From your boy Krish, he writes in, says, hey, Coach D, you have a history of coaching elite wideouts. Who's the best receiver you have ever coached, regardless of level?
I couldn't pinpoint one. There's been so many great ones, and there's still, who knows, the best is yet to come, right? Like, you know, you can go back and Antoine Grant, Caleb Holly, Quentin Randolph, you know, CJ Wyndham, like the list goes. You know, what do you want? Do you want a big guy? Do you want a little guy? Do you want somebody that's electric with the ball in his hands? Like, you know, there's so many guys that. And it's what's the best, right? Like, you know, are we going off production, off character? There's so many things to do that. I would just leave it open-ended and hopefully the best is still to come.
Yeah, I think Ricky Collins is playing this weekend in the USA Flag Championships in LA, which I regretfully won't be there to broadcast. I have in the past, but yeah, Ricky and I stayed in touch. He's a great dude. Okay, before we get to the CFL Week 3, which I'm sure you're probably dying to talk about, just Brendan Sorsby. AB just brought his kids barred from the CFL despite never even having set foot in Canada. And you got Brendan Sorsby guilty of the same crimes, actually far worse, and he thinks he's going to be in the NFL. Like, how much talk is that in your circles? I'm sure you're hearing it a lot. And how do you think this is going to play out?
Oh, he's an elite talent at a unique position that everybody needs. So somebody's going to spend the money on the kid. Hear all the stories that, oh, Cincinnati knew about it, this and that. Like, there's black, there's white, and there's gray. And the story probably is somewhere in the gray area, right? Nobody really knows what really happened except for him. And those stories will probably be buried with him. But I think the kid is an elite talent, right? Like, if you think about it, and from this year's draft, he's probably pushing Mendoza for the number 1 overall pick if he's in this year's draft, right? If he's in next year's draft, he's him, you hear reports about Arch Manning staying one more year, but him, Dante Moore, like the quarterback class next year is elite too. So if you're a team now that can get put your, and I don't know how much you know about how the supplemental works, but you put a blind bid in based on what you're willing to spend. And somebody's going to give a first round pick for the kid. Watch. There's too many teams that need a quality quarterback, and people are going to roll the dice on the kid because his talent level is elite.
I'm so glad I asked. And but that's why I think Arlen Bruce IV should be in the CFL. He sells tickets. So this is going to come down to how good a player you are, as it always does. But here's one for you before we get to the CFL, because I got my spies in the Longhorns locker room. There's 2 ex-Rough Riders coaching there. Arch was hurt all last year. Did you know that?
I did know that.
So what do you think he's got under wraps this year in Austin? Or capable
you
of?
Look at what's surrounded it. I haven't looked, but I bet you him and Dante Moore, the odds-on favorites to win the Heisman. Willing to bet any amount of money on that, right? Like, and who has, the Heisman is so political, but it's based on your statistics, but who has the harder schedule, Oregon or Texas? One would probably say Texas, right? Who has more weapons around them, Oregon or Texas? Arguably this year, you'd probably say Texas.
Always Texas. Everything Texas. Yeah.
But so you look at it and it's going to be interesting because they play some tough games early on. And the battle of attrition, if he's grown up and make the right decisions, because the last 5 games of the year, Arch Manning was stellar, right? Like, he couldn't do anything wrong. The problem was the games early in the year when he was hurt and fighting through all that stuff, like, that's the games that got him.
Absolutely. Okay. Canadian Football League Week 3 kicks off tonight. BC at Hamilton. A triple header Saturday. You're following all the games. To you, is there a game out of the week? Shockingly, our viewers voted Riders, Stampeders, and Calgary as the game of the week. What would you say is the game of the week? Yeah.
I'll be honest. I'm intrigued about tonight's game, right, with BC. You see they put 2 more receivers game. I think Murphy alluded to it. Like, their 6-game injury list is crazy right now, and you got to have weapons. You got Rourke, and how much are you gonna fuss about them losing to the Riders last week? And there's always there's always, oh well, we didn't get a call here, or this should have been that. Like, stop leaving it in the hands of the officials. Like, take care of your business from the start and be done with it. And if you leave it to the officials at any level, you're going to find a way to get screwed. And so I think how BC has to travel to Hamilton and play in that environment, because Hamilton's playing well, even though they stumped their toe. I think that's the team that I still like in the East. And I want to see how BC is going to respond after the loss to SAS last week.
Well, I'm sitting there reading the game notes of every game and just like drooling, salivating. I can't wait to kick it off. Every game, like Toronto, Mike Miller 0-1, Dinwiddie 0-1. There's a huge case to be made for Toronto-Ottawa as the game of the week. Chad Kelly throws for 445 and 3 tuds, and they lose.
And lose.
What? What's your read on the Boatmen?
I think they're super young, right? And I'm partial to them. They got 2 of our players that played last year that cracked the starting lineup game 1 and are playing great. I think there's a lot of Coach Mike Miller's staff is young. I think they have the talent in the locker room. I think the coaches, if they stay on the same page and to grow with the players, they'll be a force. Give them 4 or 5 games. Now, you can't go 0-4. You got to find a way to win. And I think this game means a lot, just from the animosity, Dinwiddie being in Ottawa, them leaving, bad blood, whatever you want to say. I'll leave that to the writers. But it's not going to be all sunshine and rainbows and hugs and kisses. I promise you that.
Did you see Dinner's quote? Probably not. He was just like, love Toronto. Yeah, no. It was all, he's fiery, but he's silver-tongued too. So, we're all good. Yeah, so, yeah.
He's been coached well in media training. How about that?
Yeah, well, he never used to be like that. So, hey, we all mellow as we can. But there's I'm reading the game notes just so you know, because you see there's 50-plus points. Every game has been 50-plus point combined. Take the over in every game. The average QBR for the whole league of quarterbacks through 2 weeks is 110.8. And for the last 5 seasons, it was 94.2. The quarterbacks are out of control, insane right now, the way they're playing to come out of the gate.
But you hear everybody saying, there's a lack of quarterback play in the league. But then you come out with that number, right? So, okay, so are the quarterbacks getting better and the offense getting better, or the defense is struggling?
You tell me.
Right? So, I mean, you look at it, and I'll just, based on, we'll take the Hamilton game last week, right? The pass rush, a 4-man pressure is unheard of right now. There are not people getting home with 4 guys. You're manipulating pressure and manufacturing pressure to speed up these quarterbacks. But there's a lot of talent at the receiver room across the board. So these quarterbacks are finding a way to ball in their hands, getting them in space, and making a guy miss, and you're looking like a genius. So I think it's a little bit of both. But that always settles in. Offenses are normally way ahead of the defenses early on in the season. Give it 2 more weeks and see what happens.
Well, I was in the venue Saturday to watch BC Sask. Thank you, BC Lions, for the invite and bringing me in there. And I'm watching, there's confusion all over the field. Well, on both defenses, but especially in the secondary for BC. I'm also sitting there looking at this offense, and Mark Mueller's going, how do you cover that? That kid is a genius. But you're right. They'll settle it all. But BC's got to get figured out soon, Mike, because they don't want to go 0-4. They got it's a tough schedule.
I mean, everybody, again, it goes back to they're not as much panic as there used to be because 8 out of 9 teams make the playoffs. But don't be that one.
Yeah. Well, and I'll remind you, that's not till next season. And I only remind you because somebody had to remind me. Yeah. I was sitting there. Yeah.
I literally was thinking they implemented it now, but it's still the same. So now it's even worse, right? So now you got to figure it out. Okay, what are we doing? The East has shown that, okay, they can play with anybody. Is SAS still the creme de la creme of the West? Currently,
they look like it. They look like it.
You know what I mean? Yeah. What Corey Mason, Jay, and them have done, you got to look like it right now. Now, again, it's a battle of attrition, right? We're talking about a couple weeks in.
They're kicking us off. Good luck tonight, Coach. I'll be following. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, buddy.
Mike Davis of the Vegas Nighthawks on a game day in San Diego. Check him out. We'll be right back with a sports update and viewer takeover the rest of the way here on Silver State Sports and Game Plus streaming.
For a night of rock with the Gene Simmons Band.
You know your man is working hard. He's worth a team.
Saturday, December 5th, Temple Garden Center.
Now.
The Gene Simmons Band performing your favorite classic hits. Tickets on sale now at sasktix.ca. Don't miss the Gene Simmons Band.
Get ready to make unforgettable memories with your little ones at Elmo's Got the Moves, the all-new Sesame Street live show coming to your neighborhood. Friday, December 4th, Temple Garden Center. Tickets on sale now at SaskTix.
You have a vision, a big idea, but how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events, that's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with The Rod Pedersen Show. Talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Hiring a video company shouldn't be complicated. Click, pay, done. Skycron.com/Regina.
All right, everybody, this is where I'm going to ask you to help me out, Larry King of Sports. Hello, till the top of the hour on this Football Friday. And we covered every league except the NFL. Actually, we covered that too in terms of the Brendan Sorsby thing. And I mean, I don't want to say that I'm jaded. I read this last hour. In the first hour, this is technically the second hour of the show, but the Nevada audience has not heard it. Although they would have heard this somewhere. Brendan Sorsby is tentatively planning to work out for NFL teams before the supplemental draft, following the quarterback's decision to end an unprecedented legal fight to retain his eligibility after he acknowledged making impermissible bets while playing college football. Sorsby plans to hold his pro day July 10th at a Dallas area high school. The deadline for applying for the draft is Monday, but there were still procedural issues related to a Texas district court's temporary injunction that had cleared the way for him to play for Texas Tech this fall. I hope you guys really appreciate the wisdom and the openness of a guy like Mike Davis when he comes on here. And by the way, you clearly do, because Brent from the Bridge City writes in and he says, Coach Davis knows his stuff. He does know his stuff. He doesn't work in the media, never has, and he doesn't really varnish stuff to the degree that we have to, i.e., because I'm sitting here, I'm on the media side. I have a media job. So I'm looking at this going, okay, he can't play in the NCAA, even though a Texas court said he could. The NCAA has banished him. It just would have been ugly no matter how that unfolded, whether he played this year in college or not. So he's like, screw it, I'm going to go to the NFL. And I'm sitting here going, whoa, has anybody asked the NFL? But silly me, Mike's on the inside of football, i.e., knowing that if the kid's good enough, they'll take him. It reminds me of, and I really love how, football and hockey are no different. The levels aren't that separate. Like when Nathan Rourke had a year left on his first contract with the BC Lions, and not all of, but a lot of the NFL was drooling over him, the Canadian quarterback that is now playing for the BC Lions. We had Neil McAvoy on this show at the time, the co-GM of the BC Lions, and I said, Neil, he's got a year left on his contract. He's not legally allowed to go to the NFL by CFL bylaws. And Neil said, if they want him, they'll get him. And guess what? They did. Nathan Rourke had multiple offers to go just try out in the NFL. The Lions let him out of his contract, bounced around there for a while. Now he's back in the CFL. But Sorsby is really no different. He's an exceptional player. What did Mike just say? An elite talent. If he was playing this year, it would be between him and Arch Manning for the Heisman and Dante Moore in Oregon. So he's like, I'm not going to screw around with this college stuff. I'm going to go NFL. And I'm just sitting there going, why would you do that? Why would the NFL even touch this guy? Well, think about it. Because the CFL is doing the exact same thing with Arlen Bruce IV in Arizona, and they're not allowing him in. But the NFL is willing to take a guy, 90,000 bets he made in college football? He better be damn good. Glenn in Medicine Hat writes, and he says, hasn't that always been the mantra in sports? If a player is good enough, they'll be found. That's scouting, and that's a little different. This is, we'll bend the rules to make an exception if you're good enough. That's what this is. We'll look past the last year of your contract in the Canadian football. We'll just rip this up to let you go try out in the NFL and make a lot of money there. Nathan Rourke doesn't regret it. There probably was an agreement that if you come back here, you have to sign with us, which I'm sure he wanted to anyways because they love him there. Captain Lou writes in, he says, if I'm the Detroit Lions, I'd put in a 4th or 5th round flyer on him. Definitely worth it. Yeah, but what if he makes a bet? Like, I'm ready for the weekend. It's not anybody's fault, but it's like, what about all the other players that have been canceled because they made 1 bet or 2 bet or whatever? We're just going to look the other way because he's really good. And by the way, that's been going on for a long time, and I've benefited from that too. So I don't have a problem with it. I'm just saying don't burn too many calories on it as to how is this allowed when Jason in Red Deer writes in, he says, always great listening to Coach Davis. I hope to get to a Nighthawks game sometime. Maybe when I move to Las Vegas one day. LOL. It's not like they wouldn't have thought. I'll make you a bet right now. I don't think anybody would take that bet. The Nighthawks will play a game in T-Bone Ball Arena. It was like, it doesn't seem that hard to me. When I first went to Florida 6 years ago now, we used to talk, will there ever be an outdoor game in Florida? NHL game? People are like, not a chance, and then there were 2. We'll be right back.
This is a test pattern. This is what happens when your video company screws up. You don't want your clients to see a screw-up. Hire a company that only does video, so it won't screw up. Then, people who give you money will see less of these and more of you. Skycron.com/live.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Sports fans, daytime sports talk gets a whole lot better weekdays at noon Eastern with the Rod Pedersen Show. talking sports daily with A-list guests, and the best part is, you can always join the discussion as we're the most interactive talk show on television. Broadcasting from coast to coast from the biggest events like Super Bowl, Stanley Cup Final, Grey Cup, and more, there's nothing like it in the game today. The Rod Pedersen Show, daily at noon Eastern and 10 p.m. Pacific on Game Plus Network.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
You have a vision, a big idea. But how do you turn ambition into absolute impact? It starts with connection. Booking top-tier speakers and executing seamless events. That's the EMJ difference. We position your brand where it belongs, Guy, through powerful advertising, strategic media, and promotion that drives results. At EMJ Marketing, we don't just promote, we partner. Your growth, our mission.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel angry or depressed most of the time? Do you feel neglected or unloved?
Do you feel that if the drinker loved you, she or he would stop drinking?
If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Not everyone trapped by alcohol is an alcoholic.
Families and friends are suffering too. Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Looking for a new ride without the big city pressure? Come to Western Dodge in Moose Jaw, where you'll find an unbeatable lineup of Ram trucks, Jeep SUVs, Dodge Muscle, and Chrysler family rides. With knowledgeable staff, great prices, and that friendly Moose Jaw touch, you'll drive away with confidence. Western Dodge, big selection, small town service. Visit us today or browse online at westerndodge.ca. Okay. It's been a great week. Thanks, everybody, for their participation. Thank you, producer Corey, for a great job, as always, at Skycron. We've got through everything. Can you believe it? And here is overtime for Overtime Hockey Lanes. Our friends in Calgary, and listen, I'll read it. Not that I have a problem with it. I'm getting this tug internally to go to the football game Saturday night. And our plan was to go. And it was going to be a business meeting in Calgary. It ended up being called off. Welcome to business. But Graham writes in from Cowtown, home of Overtime Hockey Lanes. My point is, everybody that's going to Calgary for the big football game Saturday, Saskatchewan Roughriders at Calgary Stampeders, please do me a favor and stop in at Overtime Hockey Lanes today, tomorrow. Tell Randy and Michelle that the RP show sent you. That would help us out a lot, and you'll probably end up with a stick in your hands and have the time of your life at Overtime Hockey Lanes. 28th Street Northeast, Calgary. I used to say, just that snapshot from the old Crossroads flea market. Anyways, Graham writes in, and thank you, Graham, for watching today on the Western Dodge text line 902-518-3033. He says, Saskatchewan Roughriders will have a mobile Riderville set up in the east parking lot at McMahon Stadium. Best tailgating in the CFL is in Calgary. He says, Saturday will certainly be awesome, and kudos to both organizations for building up an awesome vibe this weekend. To be honest, if I wasn't coming down with something, I probably would go jump in my Dodge Hornet from Western Dodge. But it's like, I might not even get out of bed all weekend. I'm coming down with something. I don't want to infect y'all. Yeah, but so Arlen Bruce, dude, this is weird, man. We're on the same plane. I feel like we're all on the same plane. Interviewing Mike Davis, everything he brought up was the next thing I was going to talk about. And same thing with you, AB. Arlen Bruce III writes in, he says, USA versus Australia, FIFA talk. How can you not think of soccer? Haiti versus Brazil. Oh, I saw the schedule, bro. Scotland versus Morocco as well. Turkey versus Paraguay. I'm thinking South Florida right now, going off. It's full of Haitians and Brazilians anyways, and they're playing each other. Oh, my God, I can't even imagine. Yeah, AB, I'm with you. And he says, later today, that will be historic. Have a great Father's Day weekend to all the dads. Same to you, AB. And What did we talk about today? World Cup, CFL, NFL, college, indoor football, AHL, NHL, MLB, Brendan Sorsby. Am I missing anything? And the breaking news, Darren Radish traded from the Tampa Bay Lightning to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Jonathan Taves retiring from the NHL after 3 Stanley Cups with Winnipeg. I don't know if this guy was just trying to get my goat the other day or not. But no, he wasn't, because he's really into it. My sponsor, Bob, Krusty. You've heard me talk about Krusty? It would be nice if you all met him one day. You won't, but he was like, hey, Rod, are you following the PWHL draft? The Professional Women's Hockey League draft? Stop it. Not that I have anything. Come on. How much space do you think in there? There's a party in there every day to begin with, and I just, with all this going on, let alone the draft of the Pro Women's Hockey League. Oh, and our baseball team, I know we're an hour to the Nevada hour, but I am broadcasting NCAA baseball in Canada. That's why I'm here. And, well, I didn't get out of the Florida heat, but our team's won 8 in a row, baby. Big win last night over the Red Sox. Tonight on the road at the 57s. I only do home games. It's the best deal ever in sports. But anyway, just busy. So World Cup, USA, Australia, Friday afternoon. Scotland, Morocco, Brazil, Haiti, Turkey, Paraguay. I can't believe that I'm into this thing. And how many times have I thanked the viewers today? I'm going to do it again for you all showing up and making our live stream one of the most watched that they've ever had through BC Game, the global crypto casino, to the point that they're like, the client loved it. Will you and Moose come back and do another game Wednesday? We're in. And immediately went right afterwards and had to go to McDonald's because we were talking about that. Huge FIFA sponsors, World Cup. Advertising works, man. Advertising works. Blue Jays playing in a matinee at the Cubs. By the time a lot of people see this, that one will be over. A's home to the LA Angels tonight. So, yeah, I mean, hockey's over, but there's still enough to do. And the other thing is, I mentioned this off the top, and I'll wind it up on this. I'm going to be keeping my eye on the situation out of Edmonton. They're not going to be hiring a coach over the weekend. Does anybody want to place a bet? And, of course, you know me. It's a friendly bet. There's that voice in my head going, don't bet, Rod, on anything, but we do make our picks. And how about predictions? Can we use the term predictions that Bruce Cassidy will end up being the head coach of the Edmonton Oilers? I mean, I pushed all my chips into the table on that one. And if he's not, I'll be spending a good amount of time wondering why he's not. Why would the Edmonton Oilers go through 100 yards of crap like Andy Dufresne and Shawshank Redemption when you got Bruce Cassidy sitting right here and he wants the job? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know what you were saying there, AB, but he deleted it. I'm sure it wasn't that bad. I should have asked this earlier. Brent in the Bridge City says, I hope that cold of yours gets better soon, Rod. Lots of sports to watch at home. Happy Father's Day weekend. Thank you for a fun week. Same to you. I should have asked it. When you're right at the first step, 1 out of 10 polls, 1 out of 10 on your cold, what can you take to just kill it? You got 1 minute to respond. Hey, thank you, Bill in Brantford. He says, great show, Rod. We covered it all, didn't we, Bill? I appreciate you finding us here on YouTube, on the Rod Pedersen Show stream, and all of our Vegas friends. Hope you have a great, safe, wonderful weekend. So a really big thank you to Mike Davis for chiming in from Vegas. Their streaming platform is yahoo.com for their game at San Diego tonight, if you indulge. Mike did say selected games of theirs air here on Silver State Sports, so tune it in. We're all the biggest Nighthawks fans now. Back here Monday to recoup all of it. So happy Father's Day to the fathers, and thanks for tuning in. Follow our social media channels at The Rod Pedersen Show on Instagram, at Rod Pedersen on Twitter, Facebook. Chime along in the discussion. We'll see you Monday here in Silver State Sports and Game Plus streaming.
That.
City.